The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The latest odds for what the Jets will do with their first-round pick, I believe, give us a clear understanding on where things are headed. We'll talk about that and much more. Matt O'Leary will join us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. Make sure, if you haven't already, you are subscribed to this channel. And, of course, like the video as soon as you start watching, as it helps the algorithm show this channel, this show, to more Jet fans that are out there. Speaking of Jet fans, joining us right now in his weekly spot is fellow Jet content creator, the great Matt O'Leary. Matt, happy Thursday. And 3 weeks from today, it's officially draft night, baby.
I cannot wait. It feels like we're inching that much closer, and always a fun weekend of content for draft weekend.
Can't wait. Quick reminder to those of you who haven't bought your draft tickets yet, go out there and click the link in the description and reserve your spot. First come, first serve. If you want a guaranteed seat at the bar at Clifton Hall, I recommend you get together with a group of your friends and lock in a table for 4 or 5 people. So can't wait. 3 weeks from tonight, it's going down at Clifton Hall in New York City. So what I want to do, Matt, is pull up the latest odds. These are from DraftKings. Shout out to Dom C, was the first person I saw to post these, because you'll notice a trend here as you look on your screen. So the official, bet you could make, and you can only make this bet if you're in New Jersey, by the way. If you're in New York, they don't let you bet on the draft. New York Jets, position of first drafted player. Offensive lineman is the clear favorite at plus 110. Then you have tight end, still pretty high relative to the other positions at plus 175. And then after that, a huge drop-off for every other position. Defensive line is the next closest at plus 600. Wide receiver, plus 950. And look, these are just betting odds, but they're usually pretty accurate when push comes to shove, especially when you get right up into when the draft is starting. So I'm constantly checking these throughout the process. And seeing O-lineman this stark and then tight end right there, I feel like it really is going to be either of those positions. Like, I don't think there's value in any other spot here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. To me, it really feels like Armand Membu or Tyler Warren's going to be the pick in 3 weeks from today. And I'm not surprised to see offensive lineman number 1. While I think you feel the same way, I'd rather go with Tyler Warren than Armand Membu. If I was to do a predictive mock, I think I would predict Armand Membu and the offensive line being the pick. And if you're not really a betting person watching this, if you want to look at what the odds mean, so plus 110 is an implied chance of 47% versus plus 175 is 36.5%. And then you get to like the defensive line or edge and like plus 600, that's all the way down to 14%. So like it's a massive, massive drop off after those top two. And like you said, I just don't see the value in it. You pretty much just got to stick to your guns. And if you think it's going to be a lineman, bet the O-line, or if you think it's going to be a tight end, bet the tight end and hope you're right, because I think you're just tossing money away if it's any of these other, bets.
Do you truly think it is going to be Warren or Membu at this point? Could you see a different offensive lineman come into play? Could you see a different tight end even come into play?
I don't think so. And I know there's a lot of people who really like Will Campbell, the offensive lineman from LSU, and I get it. I just think that with how he measured in, he's going to end up being a guard at the next level. Like, he would be an extreme outlier size-wise with the arm length and wingspan. if he was to play tackle. So I think with the Jets having pretty much their guard spots filled, right? Like you have John Simpson, you have Elijah Vera Tucker. You're not going to draft a guy 7th overall and then not play him unless the Jets go against their word and move Elijah Vera Tucker to tackle, which I don't think that's happening. So I don't see Will Campbell as a fit for the New York Jets, even though he's a projected top 10 pick. I think Membu makes the most sense because they need a right tackle, and he's played right tackle. And everyone else who is in the conversation, outside of even Will Campbell, they're all left tackles. So you'd be having someone change position. So I do think Membu makes the most sense. And unless the Jets are trading down, I don't think Loveland would be in play for them at pick number 7.
Well, it's interesting because the way this bet is structured here, position of first drafted player, not at 7. So if you think the Jets are going to potentially trade back, and then maybe that's the spot where they get some extra picks and then take a wide receiver, maybe you could argue plus 950 is juicy, but you need a lot to happen for that circumstance to play itself out. Or same thing goes if you trade back and say you take Colston Loveland, who maybe the Jets really like and they wanted to get some extra picks as well. Like that to me would be the only scenario where you maybe would bet on a different position here. But gun to my head, I think it's going to be Armin Membu when push comes to shove 3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, I do as well. And looking at the wide receiver, I would like to see those odds higher. I just don't think they are going to go that route, honestly. And you said it, maybe in a trade back that changes, but so much has to happen for a trade back to come to fruition. And honestly, they just did it a year ago. And I know it's a completely different regime, right? Like that's not the point that I'm making, but the chances of trading back in 2 years in a row, albeit it was only 1 pick a year ago, it's just, that would be a surprise to me. I just think most likely they're sticking and picking at 7.
I mean, it's interesting because I guess on one hand, like expect the Jets to do one thing, but we truly don't know with any new regime. Like that's the thing. Like we're all learning what Muji and Glenn are all about in real time. Like I don't know how many people saw like the Brandon Stevens signing, for example. It's like, oh, they're not going to spend money on a number 2 corner. They're going to let DJ Reed go, and then they paid Stevens, and that seemingly came out of nowhere. So I'm with you. I just do wonder, like, could we get that big surprise pick no one's expecting? Feels unlikely, but, a couple of years ago, the famous drive stream with you and Ryan and Greenby, when Will McDonald gets picked out of nowhere, we're like, what? Huh? Because we spent so much time talking about all these different players, and all of a sudden, who? He gets picked. So I don't think that will happen at 7, but I guess we can't completely rule it out with a brand new regime.
No, you can't completely rule it out. And that was the comparison I was going to bring up is we're not that far removed from a pick in Will McDonald 2 years ago, where the assumption was, with Rodgers, you bring him in, you're going into a win now year. And then you take an edge rusher who, wasn't expected to start. He didn't and barely played in his rookie season. Now year 2 took a great, step forward and looks like a good player, but that was just way out of left field. Who knows? Maybe the Jets do that and like Shamar Stewart or Mike Green ends up being the pick at 7. But if we're talking likelihood, I understand why offensive line and tight end are positioned the way that they are.
If you're watching this live right now, hit the like button, comments, questions, and your super chats, of course. We'll cut the line. We got a great one in ASMANIAC Madness today, Matt. I mean, it seems like every time you come on, there's a compelling matchup. Today, we're moving ahead in our Sweet 16 with a matchup between the 2 seed David T and the 3 seed Neal. And here's what you need to know about this matchup. 2 OG Jet fans with completely different personalities. And the winner will take on the great Peter Castro, who yesterday dominated We the People en route to send himself all the way to the regional final, the Elite 8. Peter Castro so dominant, I mean, I didn't even need to play this because of how big of a margin he was winning by.
Weed, this is for you.
This guy's unbelievable. He'll do anything for votes.
All right, Weed, you got your wish. I did it.
Unreal. So Castro advances, and now we find out who his opponent will be. Will it be Neal? Will it be David T? We know David T has his eye on the Elite 8. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hand things over to Jim Nance to start today's matchup.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
Vote, vote, vote. It's either Neal or David T. headed to the Elite Eight. Other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Matt, is just some of your takeaways from Muji, from Glenn, even Woody, if you want to go down that path as well. Your thoughts on anything we learned, anything notable that caught your attention from the owners' meetings down in Florida?
Yeah, I think starting with Darren Muji, who spoke first, he was very adamant that they were going to keep Elijah Vera-Tucker at guard. Now, maybe that's just a complete smokescreen, and they want people to think they're going to go tackle in the first round, and then they end up going a different direction. But I'm choosing to believe that right now. That's what I would like to see happen with Elijah Vera-Tucker. I think like you moved him around a bunch in his first 3-4 years in the league. Just find a spot for him and let him develop there. I thought he was very good at guard and was, relatively healthy last year. I think he played 15 games of the 17 a year ago and was good on the interior. So I like that they have the interior of the offensive line figured out with Simpson, Tippmann, and obviously Elijah Vera-Tucker at right guard. And then just going over to Aaron Glenn, the thing that stands out to me every time he talks is just how much authority I think he commands just with how he handles himself in these press conferences. It feels very different than any time we heard Robert Saleh speak. And I just hope that, that confidence and authority translates to on the field, because I think he's an easy guy to root for, but you can win all the press conferences in the offseason. And he talked about winning the offseason and how it doesn't mean anything until you actually put wins on the football field. And really now at this point, that's the thing we're waiting for, because I think he's nailing the offseason and the other things of, handling the media and these press conferences.
Aaron Glenn wants the Jets to move in silence, Matt. Do you think the Jets are capable of moving in silence?
Yeah, I think for the most part this year in this offseason, they have. The only thing that was obvious was the Justin Fields signing. They were linked to him for weeks and weeks before the actual beginning of free agency, but you mentioned it. No one had Brandon Stevens going to the New York Jets. Andre Cisco wasn't necessarily a safety that we were talking a lot about. Josh Reynolds wasn't a wide receiver that we were spending a lot of time on. So I think outside of the biggest move, which was Fields at the quarterback, it has been a move in silence offseason, which I don't think is a bad thing. We've seen a lot of tension around this team the last 2 years, especially in the offseason. And this year feels very different. So we'll see if that difference actually makes an impact on the field this year.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Elton B with an ASMANIAC super chat. The toughest matchup for me to pick so far. Neal is so positive and has great points, and David T is such a humble person. Both great callers. Both great callers with completely polar opposite personalities, which is, I think, so much fun about this matchup. Dan the Jet fan writes in, kicker, punter, long snapper, plus 25,000. Put $1 on that. LOL. You'd be giving the good people at DraftKings a free $1, Dan. But if that's what you want to do, go for it, man.
I guess you never know. I don't anticipate them taking a kicker in the first round, but hey, it's been done before, right? Like, was it Sebastian Janikowski, the last kicker that went in the first round? That's a long time ago now, though.
100%. I mean, God, if the Jets do that. They won't, but God, if they do. Who's your daddy with a super chat here? Jake, how did you view Joe Douglas's ability to pick UDFAs? I mean, to be fair to Joe, that was one of the better things he did as a GM. I mean, he got a guy in Bryce Huff from a UDFA to a guy who got paid. Now, how that was handled, it should have been arguably by the Jets. But, I mean, that you look at Joe Douglas's tenure, that to me wasn't the issue. It was a lot of the other bigger picture stuff. Like UDFA-wise, they found some guys over the course of his tenure that contributed to the team. And in the case of Bryce Huff, became a star player on the defense.
Yeah, Huff, I think, is the best example. But then you have other guys like Tony Adams and Leonard Taylor makes their roster. And I think some are excited about him taking another step. Braden McGregor was a UDFA also who ended up making the roster. Eric Watts, I believe, as well. So not that all those guys are star players, but able to find some contributors there. And like you said, I think his shortcomings were not because of UDFAs. It was an unfortunate miss on the quarterback at Zach Wilson, number 2 overall. It was his offensive tackle that he chose getting hurt and not really performing as a New York Jet. He goes to another situation, moves to guard, and is a good football player. And then some other things in free agency didn't go his way. So I don't really look at the UDFAs as a negative for him. If anything, that was one of the more positives from Joe Douglas.
J-Mags, pretty easy to move in silence when you don't do anything noteworthy to talk about. That's also true, too, to be fair.
Yeah, true. That is true. It's like the chicken and the egg argument, what comes first. But yeah, I think that's a fair point from J-Mags.
How about this? We have a trade in the NFL. The New England Patriots are trading backup quarterback Joe Milton to the Cowboys. It's Joe Milton and a 7th rounder to Dallas for a 5th round pick. So the Dallas Cowboys have a new backup for Dak Prescott, and the Patriots turned one game of Joe Milton against backups in Week 18 into a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I think that's good business for them, right? And I think that goes to the argument for the people who believe you take a quarterback in every year's draft. Just about, he wasn't going to be a starter for them. They clearly believe in Drake May and are trying to make this work with him. But they used the 6th round pick a year ago and turned that into a 5th round pick by just tossing in a 7th. So I would classify that as a win for the Patriots.
So Cooper Rush went to Baltimore. So Dallas needed a new backup. So now Joe Milton is their backup. So who's the backup for New England then? Is Brissett still on their roster, or he's a free agent?
That's a great question. I think he's still a free agent. I don't know if they have a different backup quarterback. I could try to pull that up now.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. But Joe Milton, who at one point in time, there were actual people on my show suggesting, hey, the Jets should do that. They should call New England. And I laughed at them. But he does get traded.
It's Joshua Dobbs.
Great.
Another backup quarterback who's been around the league forever.
The rocket scientist himself, Joshua Dobbs.
There we go.
Love it. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, your super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking with Matt O'Leary. Make sure you guys follow him at Matt O'Leary NY across social media and subscribe to his YouTube channel for daily New York Jets content. The report came out from SNY the other day. Connor Hughes had it that people around the league expect Garrett Wilson to be looking at a contract that will pay him between 25 and 30 million AAV. If that's all it is, I would do that in a second, assuming Garrett Wilson would be open to that. What did you make of that report?
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I thought it would be a little bit more than $30 million now after some of the additional wide receiver extensions that we saw this past offseason. I would guess that it's on the higher end. I'd be surprised if it's closer to that 25 million, like on the lower end of the range. But if that's the rate, 25 to 30, even if it's on the high side and right at that $30 million mark, I think you do it. My guess has been 4 years, 120 million for him for the last little bit, and I'll stick to that. And I think it's worth it.
I would pay him, and I would pay Sauce as well. I think at this point, sends the message to the team that you're serious about drafting and developing and paying your own. And like the cap goes up every year. The longer you wait, it only costs you more. And it's like, if you're not going to pay those guys, who do you pay? Like, to me, it's like you already brought back Sherwood. If it doesn't work out with Fields, you're going to have a rookie on a rookie contract in 2026. Even if it doesn't work out with Fields for a year, he's still going to be incredibly affordable for another season. Like, this is, to me, when you sign these guys long term, I would try and get deals done with both of them.
Yeah, and the price for corner keeps going up. I think we saw that market explode after the Derek Stingley contract. So I would expect something in comparison to Stingley's deal. I get it. Stingley had a better 2024 than Sauce did. I don't think that's really up for debate, but I don't think you can throw away the first 2 all-pro seasons that Sauce Gardner had. And I do think he is a really good corner who should honestly benefit from having a guy like Aaron Glenn as his head coach.
Comment from Jay, who writes in, where is the highly respected Rex Hogan working? Or is he in the bucket with Cheats fan and Bobby Twilight?
I don't know where Rex Hogan is. I couldn't tell you.
He's so highly respected. He hasn't, I don't think, been with an NFL team in 2 years since he was fired. Funny how that works.
Yikes.
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I have an exciting announcement for those of you who are into the ASMANIAC Raffle. We're doing Super Bowl III as our theme this week. So by now, we're giving away an old school Joe Namath helmet, a Don Maynard signed helmet, a Weeb Eubank signed helmet, and just announced right now, signed Emerson Boozer old school helmet. I've been working on getting other Jet Super Bowl III players besides Namath and Maynard. There's just not a whole lot out there, plus stuff to get a deal that makes sense. But we secured a signed old school Emerson Boozer helmet. We also have another Don Maynard frame photo that I will send you if you win, and a replica Super Bowl III ring of champions here. So those 6 prizes are on the line in our Super Bowl III theme raffle. The Boozer helmet is the latest edition. So if you gift a membership, you're entered in our raffle. Ray Winter writes in, could you guys see a Breece holdout? I could. I could not, Ray, and I'll tell you why. He's not coming off a great year. He's going into the last year of his deal, and even though Saquon was great and Derrick Henry was great last year, there's still a perception on running backs not being worth just handing the bag to and paying big money. So I don't think the Jets are worried about a Breece holdout. Breece should be worried about showing up, balling out, and if he's not with the Jets, someone's going to pay him big money, but hopefully he has a great season and the Jets can work something out with him.
Yeah, that's where I am too. I just don't think he has the leverage to do it after the year that he had. He has a lot to prove this year. He's coming off a year where he had very high expectations and, for a multitude of reasons, some himself, but others were, the other factors had to do with play calling and the offensive line scheme and just all different kinds of things. But he didn't hit those expectations in 2024. So for me, I think it's a prove it year for him. I would not expect to see him hold out.
Could you see a Breece trade, Matt? I talked about this yesterday on my show. Mike Mitchell, who writes about the Jets for the Jet Press, he heard Denver's interested in Breece, so I brought him on to talk about that. We know there's obvious ties between Glenn and Sean Payton and Muji and Sean Payton. Could you see a Breece Hall trade from now and when the draft is, 3 weeks from today?
I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't think it's something that's, I'm going to say is like the most likely outcome. I think most likely outcome he plays this year. And hopefully if he plays well, receives a franchise tag or a contract extension after that. But, the Jets didn't, or this new regime with the Jets didn't draft Breece Hall, so they don't really have any ties to him. And you did see the comments from Glenn talking about all 3 backs. So, maybe, but I wouldn't say it's the most likely thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Kent is amped about the chance to maybe win an Emerson Boozer signed helmet because he just dropped a 20 spot for the people. 20 memberships have been gifted by the Rick Kent.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Oh, it's raining memberships, Matt. We got the Gusbuster umbrella out. Here we go. Yeah. I got 20 names to read, and then get to some of your calls with Matt O'Leary in his weekly spot on the show right after that. Here we go. If you hear your name, you thank Rick Kent for gifting you a membership. Easton Trini, D. Brown, Nagna Eboko, Johnny Cards, Mark, Hank G, Mello Washington, SDA Jets, Kevin James. What's up, King of Queens? The Australian, Joe McLaughlin, Jose Duran, Alfredo Salas, Enoch Forte, John Serpico, FPP, Gilbert Farmer, Larry Thomas, DeskJet 57, all receiving channel memberships from the Rick Kent. Thank you very much, Rick. Appreciate that. Once again, your comments, your questions, super chats, they will cut the line. JQuest says, can't wait for the draft party. It's going to be so much fun. JQuest, I can't wait to see you in action at the draft party. Get your ticket, be like JQuest, and lock in your spot today. All right, update on ASMANIAC Madness. If you tuned in late, it is the Sweet 16 in the Hood region. David T., the 2 seed. Neal, the 3 seed. Scoreboard update. Neal with the lead, 62-38, 170 votes have been cast so far. This thing, though, is far from over. So let's open up the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. And first up is a guy going head-to-head against Neal. We say hello to the David T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit. Hi, Jake and Matt.
David.
What's going on?
Hey, oh yeah, start off with the Jets thing. Interesting conversation. So my what I get is if they don't extend Breece Hall this year, and he has a super good year, then he has the option to to hit free agency and go wherever he wants next year?
If they don't tag him and he plays out his deal, he would be a free agent at the end of this upcoming season. That's correct.
Okay, they would have to tag him. Okay. All right. I hope he has a super good year, and because like you said, like I think you had said, Jake, there's a lot of untapped stuff there.
I think so. Now let me ask you this, David: how you feeling in your matchup against Neal? You're down right now. Do you see a comeback coming?
No. I feel terrific. Uh, I can't say anything negative about Neal. He deserves to move on, and he moves on. That would be a classic against him and Peter Castro. That would be, must see entertainment.
I agree. I think you and Castro would have been great as well. So I'm not sitting here campaigning for one person over the other, but I mean that the Hood region did feature a tremendous amount of OG Jet fans, including yourself, and I think you going from a matchup here with Neal to Neal potentially now going up against Peter Castro, the entertainment value there could be off the charts. You're right.
Yeah, well, it's all gravy for me. I'm just so thrilled that people had voted for me to get this far, and like I said, Jake, it's all gravy. It's all fun.
You're the man, David. Hang with us throughout the show. You never know what might happen. If Neal says something really dumb when he eventually calls in here, then we know how things could quickly change in this tournament.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for David T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
I've been in touch with Neal. He's expected to call in around 11-ish or so, for those of you waiting for a Neal call. He's on vacation right now, so who knows what Neal could be getting into when he finally calls into the show. I was sworn to secrecy on what he intends to do. We'll see if he can execute it. Jersey Jet wrote in, Matt. Good day, Asmaniacs. Jake and Ryan, what up? You just got confused for Ryan there, Matt. Your thoughts?
This is not the first time that it's happened, but Ryan is a great co-host, so I do not take offense to this comment.
I love it. Who do Ryan and Greenbean want at 7? By the way, I didn't get a chance to listen to Talking Jets this week.
So Ryan's been on Tyler Warren for a while, and Greenbean is also coming around on Tyler Warren as well. But Greenbean's big on wide receiver and Tet McMillan, but I don't know if that's the most likely outcome here.
I would be cool with Tet. I just feel like a lot of people have maybe soured on him in like the NFL, especially like when I heard Glenn always go out of his way to mention speed, and the knock on Tet is that he's not that fast for a guy you would take in the top 7. I would be personally surprised if they took a receiver.
Yeah, I would be too, especially with Tet. I like him a lot. I think he complements Garrett Wilson well. I just don't think that's the route that they're going to end up going here.
Open phone lines if you want in on the conversation. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's say hello right now to the Kyle Clifton. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Hey, Kyle.
So I would have thought that if they were interested in Tet or any other wide receiver, they'd have to go back. That's probably middle of the teens territory for the Jets. And if we're picking up an extra pick, I don't hate it, but that's kind of how I see it. As far as the Asmaniac matchup goes, I'm Team Neal. I had him in my bracket going to the Final Four. That's nothing against David T. We all love David T. Such a gentleman. But the entertainment value of Neal's calls are kind of off the charts. He's given the hyperbole. I think he was a little ticked at me on one of my last calls because he had mentioned something about foregoing one of his son's championship games to go to a Jets playoff game or something like that, and I was aghast. But that's all done with love. I wasn't trying to to be critical of him. It was just as we're always reminded on the show, it's a family show.
That's right.
So that's I'm rooting for Neal here. I think that even at this point, David T might be rooting for Neal. So that's kind of why I resign on this, and I'm just out here trying to tell people to tune in for my matchup tomorrow afternoon when I take on the unstoppable Lane Train and see if we can't knock him off the tracks.
Look, it is going to be quite the battle, and you have your work cut out for you, Kyle, but we've seen 1 seeds in this tournament go down. We've seen 3 of them go down, so why not a 4th? Why not you, Kyle Clifton?
That's what I'm saying to myself. Why not you? Thanks again, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to the great Kyle Clifton. Good call from him there. 3 siblings, Jay says, if the Jets don't take Warren, he will get to at least 14. I think his like floor as far as how far he'd go, or his ceiling, I guess, would be. I think his floor is probably maybe the Jags at 5, but I think more likely than not they wouldn't take him. I think it starts with really the Jets at 7, and I can't see him going past, I guess, Indy, and Indy's at 14, I believe, and that's what Jay's referring to here.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I would think Tyler Warren to Indy if the Jets don't take him makes a lot of sense, but I know the Saints have a lot of needs, but I could see the Saints or even Chicago. Like, I know they have Cole Kmet, but if you're just trying to load up weapons for your young quarterback, I wouldn't put it past them to draft Tyler Warren either.
Hit the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have that setting on that you want to receive a gifted membership. Rick's already dropped 20. You never know when more memberships might come through. If you tuned in late, I added another prize to the raffle, our Super Bowl III theme raffle. Emerson Boozer, old school signed helmet, one of the great running backs in the history of the New York Jets. Have a chance to win a helmet signed by him if you so choose to enter the raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, I was wondering when he would call in. He is currently in action right now against David T. We've heard from David T. Now we say hello to David T's opponent. It is time to say hello to this guy. Hello, Neal. Oh, God.
Neal, could you see you? Can I see you?
Neal, you're live. We see you.
He can't see. Could you see him?
We see him. We see something.
Okay, go.
One line. Ready? J-E.
Yeah, this is great. Oh my God. You got random people that do a jet check.
The Dominican Jet fans are here in full force. We have all the Dominican Jet fans here. Everybody. Enjoy the show, everybody. I'll see you later.
Yeah, Neal. Woo! Tremendous.
That was better. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think that achieved my expectations and more. Wow.
I knew he was on vacation. I didn't realize he was in the Dominican Republic. That is amazing. That is Neal's a legend, man. I mean, you gotta love Neal. That was so good. Neal, great call. Short and sweet. That was probably Neal's shortest call ever, too. Ironically.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. No exploding cigar this week.
No, I didn't need it. Unreal. Props to Neal. That was great. You know what? But I'll get the people what they want anyway.
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Good call by Neal. J-Boy has gifted 5 memberships. He is in the next ASMANIAC Raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 people are now channel members. Adam Page, Roy Romano, John Gilgert, Jay Reeves, and Luis Carasquillo, all receiving channel memberships there from J-Boy. Jay, thank you very much for supporting the channel. If you have a question for Matt or myself, write it in. Anthony says, wow, Neal is going to be hard to beat. Rhett fan, this one is tough to vote on. Rick says that was Neal's best call ever, short and sweet. Let's see. Joe M says maybe question those guys for their involvement in the Charles. I think it was Nigerian people scamming him. I don't think it was Dominican people. Did you hear about the Charles Gorman scandal?
No, can you fill me in? I need to hear this.
He was catfished live on this show asking for money he thought was trying to help some like woman in need he connected with over Instagram. He was just being robbed. $700. Gave away his social security card info.
He gave his social security number.
We had to get Purple Belt Mike, who works for the government, helping him out to solve all this. Dennis Gorman made a cameo on the show, thanking the Asmaniacs and Nick Shine and PBM in particular. We did raise more money than Gorman lost for him because we have the best listeners ever who support each other. So Gorman's been made whole, and he seemingly has learned his lesson. But it was a wild situation 2 days ago.
Poor Charles. That's awful.
Yep. It was tough. And he called in on April 1st as he's competing in the Sweet 16 against Big Fella. So I thought he was like playing a prank on us. Like I didn't believe him at first.
That's tough. Please don't send any money to Nigerian princes.
Yeah. Probably smart. Let's see. 3 Siblings says Warren is overrated, not worth a top 10 pick. Even wide receiver 2 makes $30 million now. Warren getting picked at 7 would make him a top 5 tight end in the league, and he will not be that in the league in no time. I mean, he could. I mean, Brock Bowers was amazing right away. Not everyone's going to be Bowers, but I mean, here's the thing with Warren. You're getting at least a premium blocker who's going to help you in your running game, and he's at least at the bare minimum a check down option over the middle of the field for Fields, who throws to the tight end a lot. At the bare minimum, he's going to be ideally way more explosive and better than that if you're taking him at 7. But not every draft is created equal. There might not be a wide receiver that's worthy of a number 7 pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to disagree with 3 Siblings here, because I think that he would immediately be the number 2 guy behind Garrett Wilson in the passing attack. Like I know people will look for, who's the wide receiver 2? They're going to be next in targets. I don't believe it. I think it would be Garrett, then Tyler Warren, and Breece Hall as the 3 most targeted guys, and it's a huge position of need. I don't think we can ignore that.
Cody wants to know if Warren is TJ Hawkinson, is it worth it? Hawkinson had the perception of being an elite blocker at Iowa, but he turned out to be a better receiver.
I mean, Hawkinson, he was hurt this year and only had 455 yards, but he only played in 10 games. He was a couple-time Pro Bowler. His best year, 914 yards, 6 touchdowns. Last year, 960 and 5. If he's given you 800 plus receiving yards every year and is an elite blocker and, getting 5 to 7 touchdowns, I would say yes. I think it is worth it.
Yeah, 2022 he had 86 receptions, 914 yards, 6 touchdowns. Like, if you're getting that consistently, I think it's worth it. Look, it's a high bar. I mean, it's a high bar he's going to have to live up to if they take him, but it might be better to take him than to arguably take a wide receiver who's not going to be that great, or take another offensive tackle when, you already have 4 of your 5 guys signed and you have no weapons right now. Like it depends how they view it. I mean, they could think Warren is going to be elite and they're going to be like, hey, he's the best player on our board. We're taking him. Like, that's it.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And the odds say the same thing. They think it's going to be offensive line or obviously tight end.
Alan, who's an Iowa fan, says Hawkinson was perceived as an elite blocker at Iowa because he was playing with Fant. Hawkinson was a stud at Iowa. Yeah, I mean, Hawkinson's been a very good player. You could argue whether or not, if that's all Warren is, if it's worth it. I can see both sides of that argument.
Yeah, I get it. I would say worth it, though. I think it's such a big need for this team. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, the way they've operated, like, they don't have a tight end right now. Like, Stone Smart, great. Jeremy Ruckert, probably on the roster bubble going into a pivotal year for him here, year 4. So, who knows? Jay Luby writes in, if the Jets take Membu at 7, what position do they focus on at 42? If they pick Warren at 7, which O-lineman do they pick at 42? I don't think it's a guarantee they would go O-lineman at 42. They could easily go DT or receiver at 42 and wait till pick 73 to get their offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say for, honestly, both of these. So if it's Membu at 7, I would say, tight end still in play. Mason Taylor would be my guess if it's a second-round tight end. Tyleik Williams on the interior defensive line makes a lot of sense. Wide receiver, maybe it's a Higgins or Jack Besh, someone like that. But yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be you take Warren and then in round 2 you're taking an offensive tackle. if that's the case, I hope, Josh Connerly maybe falls out of the first round and the Jets get him, or Arante Ursary, I believe is how you pronounce his name. That's another player that intrigues me as a potential second round tackle option.
Ladies and gentlemen, a interesting scenario here has been presented by one of our great listeners. Doan Syndrome writes in, take Membu at 7 and then trade a 4th round pick to Philly to get Dallas Goedert. Would you do this, Matt?
I think I would. And I get it. Like that, Dallas Goedert is 30 years old and maybe he doesn't have a ton of years left in the tank, but he's someone who is a major factor in the run game. He's someone who I last year was hurt, but 496 yards in 10 games. He's usually good for 700 to 800 receiving yards in a season. And they don't really have a ton of veterans right now on the offensive side of the ball. So if it's only a 4th round pick, I think you strongly consider it.
Anthony writes in, I definitely want Warren at 7. We could find a decent right tackle in the 2nd or 3rd round. That's been my argument the whole time. Like, why do the Jets need to always use 1st round picks on offensive linemen? Like, we invested in it. You could be like other teams in the league and find someone who could be decent and not have to invest a top 7 pick at a position that obviously is very important, but you just used the 11th pick in the draft on a left tackle, a high 2nd round pick on a center. Simpson was a great signing. Like, that's a perfect example of like, trust your scouting staff to find a guy out there who could be the next John Simpson, that unheralded move that, wow, he's really good. Like, that's what the good teams in the league all are capable of doing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, Ozzie Trapilo out of Boston College is another name in the 2nd or 3rd round that would make sense for the Jets at right tackle. And, it's different from a year ago. The Jets didn't have an Olu Fashanu last year. That's why they drafted him, because they had 2 33-year-old tackles, which with injury concerns. So I completely understood and wanted the Jets to go offensive line a year ago. But I just think the situation's a little bit different. Again, if they take Membu, I'm not going to be upset, and I understand it because right tackle is still a very big need. I just think if that's your move, you better be right on day 2 with the tight end, because he's going to need to have an impact in year 1.
100%. Now, one thing we didn't get a chance to hit on, Matt, that I do want to get your thoughts on. Aaron Glenn talking a big game about Justin Fields, saying that he thinks he could be a top quarterback. He's going to break out, emphasizing in multiple interviews this week, they're going to let him play quarterback, that everyone just talks about his athletic ability, running the ball. But I went back and watched all his games at Ohio State, and I saw a guy that could throw the football everywhere. What do you make of those comments? Coach talk, or do you actually think the Jets think Justin Fields could do what Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield recently did with their careers?
I do think that there is some optimism that he could have a late stage breakout. And look, he needs to come a long way as a passer. But we did see in college Justin Fields take more shots down the field, which is something that I'd like to see this offense do. And the quote that really stood out to me from Glenn when talking about his quarterback and Justin Fields was that his other two stops in Chicago and Pittsburgh, they didn't really let him loose and let him play the quarterback position. So I'm curious to see what that means for Fields and the Jets this year. Like, are they going to let him take more shots deep and take more shots over the middle of the field? Because a lot of his work is to the outside of the field on quick throws to the flat or out routes or, down and comebacks. So I'm wondering what that means, but maybe they do let Justin Fields loose a little bit this year.
My thing is, while there's a path for him to, quote, break out, what they need to do is get better weapons then to allow that to happen. Like, people bring up Baker Mayfield. Look who he's throwing to. And now his offensive coordinator, the last 2 of them were so, quote unquote, good at their jobs, they got head coaching opportunities. You look at Darnold, he's got arguably the best offensive mind in the sport. You can make the case with what Kevin O'Connell has been able to do. Plus, having Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and the stout O-line and everything, like, that helps. Duh. So, like, right now, the Jets have Garrett Wilson. They have Breece Hall. And major question marks at all the other spots as far as the weapons go. The O-line is in decent shape right now relative to where it's been. But we're still, once again, talking about a first-time play caller in Tanner Engstrand. So, like, it's just tough for me to, like, really think it's all going to happen, while at the same time, as a fan, you want it to happen because we're fans and we're tired of losing.
Sure, and that's the easiest path to finding their franchise quarterback. Like, Justin Fields being good That means that you don't have to go back to the draft in 2026 and try it again or try to find their guy, or who knows, maybe they do love a quarterback this year and they're going to take somebody. But the easiest thing is that Justin Fields hits and is on a cheap deal for the next 2 years. That would be a home run. I wouldn't put the percentage chance at very high. I think, in all likelihood, he'll be the starter this year. I think he'll be okay, but I think most likely they'll be looking for their franchise guy in the 26th draft.
Joe M says, I want David T to win, but the lead seems insurmountable. Well, the problem is, while David T is great, Neal has the certain thing we've seen in this tournament that has played very well. OG viewer of this program and diehard Jet fan. That's been something that has worked for a lot of the people that are still in this tournament. That's how we've seen some 1 seeds go down. I mean, you look at the big fella, OG viewer of the show, diehard Jet fan. King Loski embodies that as well as anyone. Peter Castro yesterday, OG Jet fan, around the show constantly. Neal, same thing. J-Quest, Ricky, same thing. Craig, same thing. Gary, same thing. It will be interesting when we get to, the battle between Lane and Kyle Clifton, if Kyle Clifton's consistency, passion for the Jets, if that will play against Lane, who doesn't call a ton, but when he does, is part of some of the more viral moments in the history of the show. That's the question.
Yeah, tough matchups across the board, man. There's a lot of really good, as this continues to go on, a lot of really tough matchups to choose from.
I mean, you heard Kyle calling earlier. Here's what we're looking at on the afternoon show, though. Great one today. J-Quest, Ricky NY. Actually, you know what? I think I might have do I have the order wrong here in my graphics? Let me see. We're doing Neal and David T right now. Yep, so J-Quest and Ricky are this afternoon. That is correct. J-Quest and Ricky, and then tomorrow on the show, I want to give people a heads up here. We're going to swap Craig from Australia and Gary to the afternoon show and do Lane and Kyle first. And the reason for that is Craig's in Australia and it's like the middle of the night. So we want to make it a little easier for Craig in his competition here and adjust the time. So I will make sure Boomtown and I, our committee chair, we contact the people involved in that decision. So this afternoon, we're looking at J-Quest and Ricky, and then tomorrow we're going to do Lane and Kyle in the morning, and then Craig and Gary in the afternoon. Bonesy will go on Saturday, him versus V-Man, in a battle of 2 guys from Poughkeepsie that have been around the show a long time. And V-Man hasn't called in a lot, Matt. I know you have V-Man winning the whole thing.
Yeah, where is V-Man? Do we got to put out, the milk cartons? Has anyone seen V-Man recently?
Crazy. V-Man's been dominating, and he hasn't even shown up.
That's how you know he's a winner.
It's
he
true.
just shows up on game day and continues to put out, put W's, stack W's.
Pretty crazy. If you have a question for Matt, write it in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Rick Kent, the Battle of Poughkeepsie. That is right. That is what they're calling it in this matchup here. Let's see. Ralphie writes, since Tanner Engstrom worked with Michigan, do you think they like Loveland in the second? I think Loveland's a first-round pick, Ralphie, even if the Jets do like him.
I do too. I honestly think, where's Denver? 20th overall? I think that's a spot that I could see Loveland going.
Let's see. Dan says the committee did not have their finger on the pulse of the Asmaniac with these rankings. This is a referendum. I don't know if that's true, Dan. I mean, the committee's job was to basically evaluate the people who call the most, what value they bring when they call in. Entertainment factor was a huge one. So I think the 1 seeds were right. I think a lot of people have taken this tournament on who's the biggest Jet fan. And I try to emphasize that you don't necessarily need to be a Jet fan to be in this tournament. It's called ASMANIAC Madness, not Jet Madness. But people have every right to vote how they want to vote. But I got to defend my guys on the committee. They worked diligently, they worked hard, and they deserve respect. All right.
They do deserve the respect. And hey, upsets happen. That's the fun of March Madness usually.
That's true. That's true. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Is the winner of the tournament, Matt, still invited to your wedding? You got that approved by the future Mrs. O'Leary?
I don't know if that is really approved, but I've floated the idea out there. We might have to have some convincing. I know you'll be at the Badlands event next week, and myself and Taylor are going, so I might need you to talk her into it a little bit.
I'm in. That's awesome. Brady writes in, do you think we could trade back to 10 and pick up a pick or two and still get Warren? Yes. I just need to know who's trading up for what player. Like why is Chicago coming up to 7? I think maybe 9 is more realistic because New Orleans, maybe they like Shedeur Sanders and he's there, or they in love with Jackson Dart and some sort of rumblings of Dart going high. Like I think you got to like tell me, why would a team trade up with the Jets? Like typically you see the most amount of trades for teams coming up for like a quarterback if it's that early in the draft. So then my question would be, which quarterback? And like to know that, we got to see how it goes in the first 3 picks, because there's a chance that it goes quarterback 2 of the first 3 picks and it's a moot point, or maybe it's Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and then all of a sudden Sanders starts to slide and the team likes him. They want to come up and get him.
Yeah, and with the Saints too, I like that you referenced them as the trade up, because the Carolina Panthers, who's the team in their division, has the 8th pick. So maybe it's a scenario where they want to get in front of Carolina to make sure that either A, Carolina doesn't get their guy, or B, they just ensure that the Saints do get their guy and they don't have to worry about him going in division.
Mike writes in, trade Breece Hall to get Genty. I don't think so. I'd rather trade down to get Burden. He's a receiver who can contribute immediately, who also could be used to complement the running game. I don't want to trade Breece at all, and I definitely don't want to trade Breece and then take Ashton Genty. I don't. Genty's awesome. I want to see what this offense looks like with Breece Hall for a year and use that number 7 pick on a different player that can help me in the immediate and the long term.
Yeah, I'm with you. Trading Hall just to then turn around and take the running back in the first round seems a little unnecessary to me, and that's not a knock on Genty. I think he's a really good player, but that's not the roster building practice that I would go with.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Hit the like button if you haven't. Appreciate everyone supporting the show. King of Kings says, take Tyler Warren now and then draft Drew Aller next season. So we're basically reunite. We're trying the Ohio State Jets this year, and a year from now, if it doesn't work, we're doing a different Big Ten team. We're going to try and be the Penn State Jets.
Yeah, Penn State Jets. Throw Olu Fashanu in there too. There's some Penn State guys on this team.
Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, before we say goodbye to Matt, let's get to another call or two. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster hotline is...
Holy crap, here comes Beastbreaker 666.
Why don't you get your fat ass on a treadmill and go the distance with me?
Is that Bobby Midnight?
I'm not into politics, and I already told you that.
I may be big, but I'm going to be bad enough to put you out.
Beastbreaker always has some salient points.
I'm going to say this again. We are not trading Breece Hall. No! It's not going to work. I'm sorry. No $1 million, no $2 billion, no 3. No. We lose Breece, we're smoked. We're going to be smoked like fish. Forget it. There's no way. How about we just put Michael Clemens up for $25,000? Man, we can get rid of him, or to the Patriots. You want Michael Clemens? Fill this out. Fill out the check. You can take him. You can take them off our hands, and you can take very. And
you mentioned fish there. What is your favorite fish? Do you like salmon?
Oh, fish sticks are my thing, my friend. I like fish sticks.
Okay,
fish sticks are delicious. Let me just say this for everybody: has Greg Zuerlein been removed yet?
No.
Oh no! I cannot watch this guy. This guy's a bum. Can we get a kicker? I mean, I want that kicker that you announced. I mean, from Miami. I like to see him. I mean, we need young guys. I mean, we don't need this old fart talent. I mean, take an example from the one guy from Rocky 2 said, dude, let's go get some new meat. We're tired of the old meat. The old meat is bad. We need fresh legs. We need fresh talent. We need fresh. I mean, come on. You go to the store, you get fresh clothes. I like getting fresh clothes. We don't like, getting stuff off the street. That's disgusting.
Fresh gabagool?
Excuse me?
Fresh gabagool?
Hey, yes, fresh is the best way to go. Oh, and if you want some tips on some wine, let me just say this. Spaghetti sauce with wine is the best, but you need red wine. Chardonnay is good for other things too. And let me just say this. We're not trading Breece. We can give Michael Clemens for $25,000, and we can put Greg Zuerlein up for maybe, I don't know. the lowest bid I'm going to start with, we'll start at 50 grand. And whatever they want, hey, here it is. The team can fill out the check, make a payment. We'll sell them. We can sell them.
Beast,
we don't need them.
Let me tell you, I think you made some salient points today, man. Thank you.
Hey, I'm just trying to say we need new meat. Come on, you seen Greg Zuerlein doink the bar, not uno, not dos, not tres, not cuatro, not cinco, not seis. 6 times the man dunked the ball off the bar, and you're sitting there going, where the hell did you find this moron? How about we just put a sign on his ass that says, please go away. You're a bum.
Incredible. Beastbreaker, one of the greats.
Oh God. Well, just you never know what you're gonna get, and it's always electric.
He likes fish sticks. Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? Then, like I said, that's class, man. Fish sticks, throw them in the oven, toaster, however you do it, you're ready to go.
Unbelievable. Matt, always fun to have you on the show. 3 weeks from tonight, baby, the NFL draft.
Yeah, we'll get there soon enough. I'm excited to get to that point. Jake, appreciate you having me on as always.
The great Matt O'Leary NY. Please subscribe to his show, his channel. Follow him on social. Matt does a great job covering the Jets on social media, including YouTube. Man with a rake with a super chat cuts the line. Could we take a run at Hendrickson? The bungholes are jacking him around after leading the league in sacks. I don't think the Jets are going to do that. And I'll tell you why. It's going to cost draft capital and a contract, and the Jets got to pay their own first before they pay someone else. I don't see it. Anthony with a $10 super chat. Breece Hall has the ability to break one and go 85 yards. He's one of the few dangerous offensive weapons we have. Why do we want to get rid of him? So I don't. The argument people will say is, well, it's a great running back class, and we can get a pick for him, and we're not going to sign him long-term anyway. Like, we don't know that. How do we know that? When he goes out there and balls out, the Jets wouldn't want to keep him, and they have the franchise tag available. They want to run. They want to be a run-first offense this year, so how does it make any sense to trade away our most dynamic running back, who I don't think has been properly coached through his first 3 years? Hopefully that changes this year. So I agree with you completely, Anthony. I'm not telling you Breece Hall is great. I was disappointed overall by his season last year like everyone else. But everyone had a bad year for the most part last year. Let's see what it looks like with the new regime here. Ralphie writes in, Beast trying to overtake Mimosa as the Asmaniac wine expert. Good luck with that. Mimosa is the GOAT when it comes to wine. And a lot of things, but she's an expert. Victor writes in, I think I'm going to get the Beastbreaker haircut. Nothing like the Beastbreaker ponytail, folks. It's incredible. Brady says, shout out to Matt. Breece stays, draft Warren, draft O-line, draft DB. Glenn is going to save us. I hope so. We're all rooting for Aaron Glenn. Nick Shine in the house. He is on the Asmaniac Madness Committee. And he is taking the one guy who commented a negative remark about the committee to task. Nick wrote in. I can't even find his comment. Where is this? Hold on. I wanted to read Nick's comment, but I can't find it. I hate when that happens. Man, I can't find it. But Nick basically said, go F yourself. Without saying it. But I can't find it. Let's see. Michael says, not the Bobby Midnight haircut. Bobby looks great with his new hair. Do you guys see our new channel emoji if you're a channel member? Bobby Gotti. Oh, Nate found his comment. This was from Nick. The committee was unaware of how people will vote. Viral moment. Jets fandom. Serious callers. It was a learning experience for all. Way to try and bleep on the fun, sir. Amen. The committee did a great job. I stand by the committee. And also, upsets happened. No one could have saw the rise of Dave Briga. So it makes the tournament fun. Dave Briga was this year's Florida Gulf Coast in our tournament. Speaking of the tournament, quick update. Neal, David T, Sweet 16. Neal basically has held steady with a 62-38 lead for a while here with 339 votes that were cast. If you tuned in late, Matt O'Leary joined us for the first hour of the show, essentially. And I also announced our latest addition to the Super Bowl III raffle. Signed Emerson Boozer helmet to go with a signed Weeb Eubank helmet, a signed Don Maynard helmet, a signed Joe Namath helmet, and this photo of Don Maynard, autographed and framed, plus a replica Super Bowl III championship ring. So giving away 6 prizes and counting so far for our Super Bowl III theme. Chef Kevin says the committee did a fabulous job. Amen. Amen. Real estate. Jets aren't trading a 4th for an old and injured tight end. Sorry, Eagles fans. I think a 4th might be too much. I'd do it for a 5th, though. Why not? J Quest already predicting that Peter Castro will beat Neal. He might. We can't. I mean, Peter Castro is a loose cannon right now, man. He will do whatever it takes to win.
Oh, shit.
It's one of the greats.
Now that is called comedy gold, my friend. Anything with comedy gold says it all.
Yeah, baby. Beast knows. See? Comedy gold. Also, we had this that I played earlier for those of you who missed it.
Weed, this is for you.
This guy's unbelievable. He'll do anything for votes.
All right, Weed, you got your wish. I did it.
Incredible. Looking like Neal versus Castro in the Hood regional final. We'll find out this afternoon who wins between Jay Quest and Ricky. And then tomorrow, we're going to do Lane and Kyle first. So Craig and Gary could go second because of the time difference in Australia. It's probably way easier for Craig. So we'll do that on the second show tomorrow. And then Bonesy will be on Saturday. And just like that, Sunday will start the regional final. So it's going to move. It is going to move. And thankfully, I don't have any radio this weekend, so that means we will have a show for sure on Sunday. Not that we wouldn't anyway. Just I don't have to do another 9 hours of broadcasting like this past week. Open phone lines if you want in. Jets Johnny is on the line, I believe. Johnny, you still there? I don't see a camera for you. Yes, he is. What's up, Johnny?
Nah, it's Jets phony. What's up, Jake Asman? How you doing today, man? I'm
living the dream, man. Is it time to play your latest diss track at JJ?
Why not? Why not? And then I'll respond afterwards. Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, this all started, for those who missed it, because JJ went up and in releasing a diss track on a beloved member of this show, this community, Gator McCluskey. So then JJ dropped a diss track, or excuse me, Jets Johnny dropped a diss track yesterday against JJ that we played on the show. And then JJ called in and said, it wasn't even that good, wasn't even that funny. So Jets Johnny is like, oh, yeah? How about another one, you bum?
Yo, JJ. Thought we were done, but the fun has just begun. This the encore victory that got you on the run, on the ropes. JJ, don't collapse. Lights out, fade to black. Ain't here for the bait, swampy split decision. Talking big, put your words like the ammunition. Every ball filled, this is JJ dissection. Trying to chime in, but your phone got no connection. You die, but your points don't land. Let the aubergine, you got no plan. Said if this ain't all the time, with your corner to the line. You got yours, and I got mine. At least I'm not a wannabe usher. I'm an asshole, gonna crush her. Let's settle this in the paint. I'll crush her over with ease. Feel the itch just shining in the breeze. I chime in and you press, man. When I'm supposed to be impressed, you swinging for the dough, but you ain't on that level. Now I'm gonna break it down for your fundamentals. You said my name first, and we can check the legend. Your track was cheeks, never been with a girl. You pleasure said mine was weak, but you better check again. I did that off the dome, no pad, no pen. Just wanted to set you straight, my friend. Always thinking yo record this is, but you didn't pay. I even asked you on the track, said only if we gay. Get us mad, man, must have been high. I about had a heart attack and I almost died. I came to my senses and I said, man, I better put this team with GJ in the can, so you can understand that you're swinging for the goal. And you pick up my mic, you better not choke. So go
Unbelievable. How you turn these around this quickly is incredible.
I've done this for a very long time, Jake. I've made stupid ass songs for a very, very, very long time. So I can do this all day. JJ, you don't want that smoke, bro. Really, and I said it at the end, right? JJ, you're my friend to the very end, man. I love you. You don't want the smoke with Gator, bro. I'm trying to save you. That's what this is, right? So, like, every now and again, when you got, like, a little brother and stuff, sometimes you got to smack him across the face because he gets crazy sometimes, you know what I mean? So, I really love JJ. JJ's my guy, man. So, I'm trying to save you, bro. So, I'm roasting the shit out of you because I'm trying to save you from Gator. Because if Gator gets a hold of you, man, it's over for you. So, and you over here begging for a video, man. Come on. You said my video was beneath you, but you over here begging for a video from Gator, man. So just relax with all that stuff. And also, the main reason why I dissed him is because he disrespected Usher with his little bullshit lines, and I can't stand for that, bro. Like, if you're gonna come here, you better put on, man. So try again, go back to the drawing board. But like I said, in the end, you still my friend to the very end. This is no pretend.
Incredible. Eddie out. Love it. Most talented listeners are the people who tune into the show every day. Unbelievable. That's how I connected with Gator. He was just a Jet fan and started watching the show. That's literally how it happened. Come meet some of these great listeners at our draft party inside Clifton Hall on West 36th Street in Midtown. Easy to get to from the tri-state area. It's right in between Penn Station and Grand Central. So if you're coming from Connecticut or Westchester, Long Island, Jersey, come on down, baby. And if you plan on going, lock in your ticket. The more people that buy a ticket, the more I can get an idea on different prizes we'll be able to get. We have a bunch locked in already, if you've been following. We're already definitely going to be giving away a signed Sauce jersey, signed Klecko jersey, signed Mangle jersey, and a signed Jermaine jersey. But more people that go, the more money in the budget to get even more stuff for people that are making the trip. So if you plan on going, lock it in. And if you have a group of people you're with and you want a guaranteed spot, I recommend getting a group together, getting a table. It's about $70 a person. And when you buy the table online, $100 of the price for the table already goes towards your food and beverage minimum spend, which is $200. So you basically already have a $100 tab you paid for already with that, which is awesome. It's going to be a blast, people. We've never done a draft party before, but if you went to any of the watch parties at T-Squared Social last year, those were a ton of fun. Besides the fact I think the Jets lost 3 of the watch parties we did. I think we did 4 in the regular season. They lost 3 of them. Because, of course, I don't even know if they won the preseason one. I'm not even counting that. We did 5 total. We did 1 over the summer, which I thought honestly might have been the best one because it was just about hanging out. There was no stress. It was a preseason game. But the other ones were great too until the final score. All right. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. There is currently only one man on hold right now. So if you've never called the show, this is now an opportunity to do so. I don't know where everyone is right now. Where are you people? The only guy on hold right now is Beastbreaker 666. Beast, how's it going?
And not bad. Just doing a little Prices Right checking. And later on in a couple hours, I'm going to be heading to you know where you save big money when you shop Menards. Hey,
Beast.
Menards is good for a lot of things. You can get pants there. You can get shirts. You can get anything. You can even get peanuts. Peanuts. I mean, it's fun. But let me just say this for everybody. Greg Zorn has to go. Michael Clemens has to go. And I'm hearing there's rumor going around about Woody Johnson being fired. Is this true?
He owns the team. He can't be fired.
Then that sounds like a load of crap in my book, though. Don't worry. He's got a long time to go, but don't worry. He's maybe suffering from dementia because he's getting old. I understand that, but hold on 1 second. Little Ice Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. $2.59 for these little things.
Hey,
But
Beast, you sent me a note yesterday, or it might have been 2 days ago, that you had to get food from PetSmart for your guinea pig. How's the guinea pig doing?
He's good. He's a good boy. He's a good little boy. He's only a baby still. He's 8 months old, and he's tough. All right, man. I'll tell you this: anything is possible if you work it. Son of a bitch. Ooh, it's something stuck right in the gullet there. I'll be all right.
You okay,
But
Beast?
Shit. Had something stuck right there. I'm okay. I'm a little bit. It's all right. But I'm gonna say this for everybody. One time, when the preseason starts, let's not start getting our panties in a bundle. Let's not worry about winning the preseason. Let's worry about winning the goddamn regular season. And Neal is right about one thing. We need to stop worrying about a lot of things. We need to get our heads out of our asses, start playing some physical football, and start doing ground and pound. Like, for example, we need to do a lot of things like get the ball, stop standing there like, hey, stop pissing in your pants, get your big boy pants on, get your ass out there and take an ass whooping.
Hey, Beast,
have
you recovered from the kidney stones? What's the latest with that?
I already talked to the doctors. They already said a couple days I should be going in, so I'll be all right. Let me
hear.
I've been down before. You think it's gonna take this to knock me on my ass? Not a chance, kid. No chance.
Not a chance in hell.
You'll have to tear my ass down and knock me on until I'm dead. Let me just say this for everybody. Preseason, if we lose 0-3, so what? Let's worry about winning the regular season first. Jake already said 9-8. How about we just do 13 wins? 13-4. That'll get us into the division. Now, in order to win the division, stay strong, stay positive, look natural, get out there and fight, get out there and bleed. If you get banged up, get off the field for a month. We'll have reserves. All we got to do is pay attention and learn. If you don't learn the basics or the examples, then what the hell are you here for? What are you here for? Answer the question. What are you here for? Show and tell, or are you here to get your ass kicked? Answer the questions. The ball's in your court. Come at me. Come at me with questions. I'm right here.
Rick Kent says you have kidney cinder blocks, Beast. Is this true?
No. Kidney stones are most dangerous. I have my sister-in-law. She has the same problem, but it's on the right side because.
What is your guinea pig's name?
Little Joey.
Joey.
Hey, you want to get tough? You gotta be with champions. Plus, let me just make an example out of everybody. April is the time to change our attitudes. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not gonna be at the ASMANIAC thing on the 24th, but you know what? I'm gonna be there in spirit. And I'm gonna be there in spirit for one reason. I'm gonna make sure our boys get the right draft picks. If I see some lacking draft picks, there's going to be some hell to pay. And I do mean hell to pay. We're not getting shit off the freaking front line. We're gonna get fresh, quality guys who have the balls, stand up straight, look tough, be tough. And if you want achievement, you better come here. If you don't want achievement, you can leave.
People are speculating that you ate Joey. Can you prove that you didn't do that?
Are you serious? Mr. Pat McAfee, get the hell out of here, you worthless, egg-sucking, Dollar Tree toilet paper loser. Take a walk and get out of here, you big joik. Yeah, and I got my new t-shirt I'm still wanting to put up, which is called, I'm the teacher, you're the bitch. And in the back of the t-shirt, how you like them apples? You want them red? You want them gold? Or what color do you want?
Pat McAfee's tank top has responded, Beast. He says, I like eggs.
Kid, I like eggs too, but I like mine fresh. You know, the good kind, not the shitty kind. See, now I'm going to start really hammering it out real hard. And, let me just say this for everybody. Get rid of Greg Zuerlein. Get rid of Michael Clemens. That is dead weight on the team. We don't need the dead weight. We want boys that can play the goddamn game correctly. And if David Brigham has to come to New York and tell these bastards, hey, get your goddamn pants on and get your ass on the damn battlefield. You want to be here, you can leave. But here's the thing. We're going to take 97% of that check out, and we're going to give you 3%. You can take your 3%, but the 97%, that'll go to the cap space department. You know what cap space is, right? You know what cap space is? That's where the money's going to go. We're going to build the money as we go. It's like when you do super chats and you get most of the money, like for the 5 raffles, the 10 raffles, the 20 raffles. But you know where that money goes? It keeps on rolling. It's like Wall Street. You know, when the money comes in, it keeps flying and flying and flying. We're going to do it right.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
Salient points by Beast. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Castro has gifted 5 channel memberships. Castro, fresh off a victory to advance to the regional final. And it appears like we're headed towards a Peter Castro versus Neal Elite 8, with the winner going to the ASMANIAC Madness Final 4. Peter Castro, this is for you.
Weed, this is for you.
This guy's unbelievable. He'll do anything for votes.
All right, Weed, you got your wish. I did it.
Amazing. John D. Lee, Ran with it, F. Hassan Reddick, Dan C., Dominic Lizuzo, all receiving memberships there from the Peter Castro. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Michael says this will be a good matchup, Peter versus Neal. I agree. It's a great matchup. Maybe a 50-50 matchup. Phantom wrote in, Beast, do you lay eggs? Does he lay eggs? What do you think? He's a chicken? Beast, you don't lay eggs, right? No? Beast? Beast? You laying an egg right now? Beast, you there? Beast. Beast, where are you? Beast? Beast Breaker? Beast? What are you doing, Beast? Do you hear me? Do you know you're on the show? Pat McAfee says, someone check on Joey. Beast, you there? He's chugging water. This is like the Truman Show right now. Beast. Boomtown is speculating Beast could be concussed. Mr. Breaker, are you there? Dave Breaker wrote, and I appreciate it when Beast calls me David. Lee Van, he owes somebody $70. God. Brady says, what is happening right now? I wish I could tell you, folks. And if you don't like this segment, it's because you're not calling it. I have no one on hold right now. So back to Beast programming. Beast, you there? Beast. Are you in the Phantom Zone, Beast? Chef Kevin says, I like it when Beast calls me Chef and not B-Mac. Bang Mateo says, I put $500 at the under 5.5 wins. Easy money. Thank you, Bang. Beast. Beast. Thunderlip says, last time I called, you put me on with Beast. Did I? I thought you could handle the Beast. Anyway, we'll check back in with Beast in a moment. Or maybe never. We'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Paul Faz, who's on the line. Hey, Paul. Paul? Well, that went well. Thank you, Paul. All right. We don't have Paul. But perhaps our final caller of the show is still out there. And he has arrived right now.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Jordan Travis, you know he's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Ricky!
Hey, how's it going, Jake? Man, I'm sure glad I woke up for this morning's show. I wouldn't even know that I was coming up this afternoon in my matchup. So I wasn't expecting it that soon. However, before...
It moves quick, Ricky. It moves quick. We're already on the Butter Region side of the bracket.
Yeah, I know. It started out so big, and now we're down to so few names. This has gone much faster than I expected. But some great matchups along the way, including today. You know, Jay Quest is a really good guy. You know, I've had some interactions with him away from the show, and man, this has been a tough one. Like everybody I've been matched up against, Mikey Midnight, Dark Knight Steve, just all really good guys. It makes it really tough, you know. Like I said, it would have been easier, you know, if I went up against somebody I couldn't stand. But you know, no, I get to go up against all people that I like. At any rate, before I move on to my point, a quick word from one of our sponsors. Whether you're working outside in the heat all day, or whether you just smoked a big fat one by me, hydration is always important. So make sure to get your liquid IV, including their most popular new flavor, cotton candy, which I have to say, if you haven't tried it, is amazing. This kicks ass. Tastes really, really, really good. So you people are going to want to stay hydrated because we got a good one coming this afternoon.
Promo code Jake Asman for 20% off at liquidiv.com, baby.
Absolutely. I did that with my first order, but I actually swear by this stuff now. The environment that I work in, I need it. So great product. At any rate, yeah, this tournament has been just off the chain. But you know, I'll be weighing in again later today. And Jake West, get ready to smoke and debate.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Ricky NY. He's in action this afternoon, and he's ready to smoke and debate at any rate.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Jordan Travis, you know he's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoke and debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Yeah, baby. Should be a great one this afternoon. Love both callers. I mean, if you made it this far, you're a great caller. You're a great contributor to the show. You can't be one of the last 16 people remaining if you're not that. Real Estate says, thanks for the new show, or thanks for the show. Thank you, Real Estate. Appreciate that. Thank you guys who watch every day. If you didn't, wouldn't be able to do this full time. All right. I think Paul is called back in. Let's see if we can get it to work this time, and then we'll wrap up. What's up, Paul?
How's it going?
Hey, there we go.
I think there was a problem with the stream. That may have been why we why it was all frozen up before, because I tried getting on and it wasn't working right, but now it seems all right. So I don't think it was all Beast Breaker's fault. It's kind of the point. But I'll be honest with you, the one that Gator made with Florida State, I can't stop laughing.
It's so good. It's so funny.
I know, I can't stop laughing. And then it's got me singing it for the next 10 minutes.
That's the thing too. Like
State.
they're funny and they're also catchy. Like the Brigga song was stuck in my head for like a good 3 weeks. Like it's unreal.
I know, that's how the Florida State one's hitting me. Florida State. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, I think there was an issue with the stream. But if my dogs start going crazy, I'm getting my roof done on my house. So, they may get a little nuts, all the banging. But what do you think as far as, I know we touched base on it. I know there were rumors about them wanting to trade Breece Hall, but again, did you hear anything that I brought up the last time about maybe it's going to be one of the other running backs we have? Because it makes no sense to me that we're going to get rid of Breece. I mean, he had a bad year, but like you said, the whole team had a bad year. The morale was down. I mean, we were, you fire a coach 5 games into a season, and I think everybody just gave up after that. And as far as Zerline goes, I mean, he gave us some good years. He had a bad year. He could rebound or not. I mean, did we already pay for him? Like, I mean, is it worth just holding on to him, hoping that he'll bounce back? Because I don't know about that either.
Yeah, look, I have not heard anything about any of the other running backs, and even Breece. It's not like, Jets were shopping him. It's like speculation from someone who covers the Broncos that said, I know Denver would be interested, and then connected the dots. Oh, well, the Denver and the Jets have a lot of mutual connections, a lot of ties. So I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think it makes any sense to trade him. And the other running backs are completely unproven. They flashed a little bit, but we're talking about 2 guys that combined had like 100 total carries last year at that.
Yeah. And let's be honest, coaching did not help anybody on our team last year at all. So, that's going to be the main thing. I keep saying it, they're talking real well right now, but we've heard that talk time and time again. Action speaks louder than words. And we watched, we really thought we were going to do well with last regime, and we didn't. And that's typical. We haven't in a long time, and we have to just wait it out again. Typical Jets. We got to just, like if it were a Parcells hire, you're just going to sit there and you just knew it was going to turn around. I mean, the man turned our team around instantly, right? And we're going to have to hope for that. And then, you know what? Then I'll say, hey, we get lucky for once and we don't have to worry about coaching or GM for a while. But again, I've told you the last 2 years have decimated me. So I'm just not going to get excited about it. But I don't think getting rid of Zerline is a good move if we already paid for him or whatever. Because, kickers they're kickers. They have good years, bad years. If he rebounds to the way he was, I mean, he was phenomenal for us 2 years ago.
I think what they'll do, Paul, good call. I think they'll probably have him on the roster to start training camp at this rate, and then they'll have competition. Like, because if you look at his cap situation, they don't save money by cutting him now, or the money's been paid. So essentially, he could be competition for someone else. Like he's not going to be handed the kicking job, is my point. Like last year, he was the guy, right? They cut the other guy who went to the Commanders, who was amazing. In hindsight, if we knew, should have cut Zerline then and kept the other guy. Oh, baby, Peter Castro in a gifting mood. Fresh off a win in ASMANIAC Madness, he's dropping a 5 spot for the people.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, baby. By the way, for those of you who tuned in late, I added another prize to the raffle that we're doing, Super Bowl III themed. Emerson Boozer signed old school helmet to go with the Maynard photo we added yesterday, and a replica 3 ring. So we got 6 prizes so far. I think I'm going to extend the raffle through the weekend to give people more of an opportunity to engage and get in it, because these are some great prizes. Weeb Eubank signed helmet, Maynard helmet, Joe Namath helmet. Be ready, baby. It's all happening. Oh, man. Look who's on the line right now. One of the few Asmaniacs that has already secured his spot in the Elite Eight. Ladies and gentlemen, our king is up next. King Loski. What's up, Loski?
Jake, my brother, it's always good to see you on this Thursday, my brother. Let me just say this, man. I don't know. This ain't came across my ticker. This ain't came across my timeline. All of this Breece Hall trade crap. What is this? People, what are we talking about? You talking about trading your second option? Is that what we doing? We trading the second option. We're being counterproductive by talking about trading the second damn option. You got to be kidding me, people. Huh? Let's really use our brains, people. Let's really think about what the hell we got on this team. Okay? That's counterproductive, people. That's the second damn option. What the hell are we talking about? Okay? At the end of the day, you got Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. That's it. Okay? That's what we got to go weapon in the damn draft. And you talking about trading Breece Hall. What the hell are we talking about? Let's use some common sense, people. Okay? Common sense ain't so common these days. And that's a damn shame. Because you talking about trading the second damn option. Are you kidding me? Come on, people, use your brain. What are we talking about? Now, if the damn coaching staff sees that, okay, we got 3 running backs, well, damn it, use your brain. What are we going to do? Run the ball. Okay, stop it, damn it. Stop it. And that's the bottom line. You got to be able to move men against that will on that in the damn trenches. And that's the bottom line. We going to run the ball. You know we going to run the ball, and you better stop it, or you going to get ran on all damn day. And that's the bottom line. You're talking about trading the second option. Let's use our head, people, and not the one below. Okay? JTS! 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 JTS!
That's why he's the king. They're not. They can't trade Breece. You can't say you want to be a run first team. Move off of Rodgers. Get rid of Devontae. Bring in Fields, who's a runner, and then you're gonna get rid of Breece. It doesn't make any sense. No way. Great call. He's right. I don't see it. I know people have speculated on it, but it's not like, hey, Jets are shopping. I'm like, that's not what's happening here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nick Shine Show has gifted 5 channel memberships. How about that from Nick? He saw an Emerson Boozer helmet and was like, I want it. I need it. Well, guess what, Nick? This is for you. Travis, T. Rivera, Jason Picker, Sean Johnson, E-Stack Fishing, the recipients of those memberships there from the Nick Shine Show. Thunder Lip says Fields 10-plus rushes a game with 2 other running backs, Breece Hall usage. I mean, Breece Hall should still be utilized a lot. He's also going to be utilized in the passing attack. If they use him properly, you can't get rid of him. I don't think they will. All right, let's get to these last couple calls quick. All of a sudden, we went from having no one on the line to a bunch of people on the line. And this guy doesn't call in a ton, so I'm glad that he has. We have Curly Norman is on the line. What's up, Curly?
Hey, what's up, Jake? Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you, Curly.
You said you had no one on hold, so I'm on the bike. I just want to let everyone know Nate's not the only one that can call from a bike.
Oh, well, guess what? Guess who's also on the line? Nate.
Yeah, Curly. I
What's
love
up,
it.
dude?
I'm laughing out loud.
I met Nate week 1 when we still had some hope. And his beautiful
I shook Curly's hand. I shook Curly's hand after coming out of a stall after he didn't even wash his hands. He was coming out of a porta potty. But anything for the ASMANIACs.
Come on, don't do me
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But yeah, he identified me. He was like, "Yo, it's Nate." And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
I was like, Nate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's Curly. Are you frequently tuning into the show while exercising?
That is correct.
I love it.
Before I go to work every day. Tell Beast this is called cardio.
Come on.
Also got
we need more Curly calls
on the wall. Right there.
Curly, you got to call more, man. I think you have the makings of a great caller.
Hell yeah.
achievement right there. Walt Frazier.
That's right.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say what's up. You said you had nobody. I'm sure you have 100 people, so.
Now you're good, Curly. Now let me ask you this. I know you came to the tailgate before the home opener. How do I convince you to come to the draft party? V-Man's going. You guys could carpool again.
You know, I would have, but I'll be in Florida that week.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yep. Sorry.
It's all good, Curly. We'll have to see you soon because you're a pleasant guy in person. You're just probably the most negative Jet fan that regularly watches the show.
Yeah, don't let me fool you. I'm not that pleasant, but yeah, the Jets make me miserable, but the show is fun. I appreciate it.
I love it. Curly, great call. Dave Brigger wrote in a man of achievement, and now we'll hand things over to Nate. Nate, how is New York City? It looks rainy, right? I thought it was supposed to be nice today.
It's gonna get nice later. This is mostly dampness from rain overnight. It hasn't rained since I've been out early this morning.
That's good. I was thinking about going to the Yankee game later, so I was because I thought
the dampness might lower the prices a little bit. You might be able to get some good seats if the forecast says there's no rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to Curly. He's a good caller. Good caller, good chatter, and definitely fun to meet him.
That wasn't planned, by the way. I had no idea that Curly was going to call in, and then Nate happened to call in right.
Well, the thing is, when you say that you have open phone lines and it's Beast the only person, I'm sure you have 10 people. It's like a live bounty of Beast just to get him off air. It was like a free version to get him off if I called in. So that was why I clicked the button. But on the Breece topic, I don't know. You probably don't remember from weeks or maybe a month or two ago on another bike call. I said on the Breece topic, I wanted to either, and again, I'm not Connor Long. I don't want to trade him, but I wanted to either extend him. I don't want to end up next year where it looks like we're going to rely on him. Like this isn't going to be an offense built around Aaron Rodgers, right? We're going to run the ball. It's going to be built around Breece and Garrett, our draft picks from a couple years ago. So knowing that, I mean, we're all anticipating. Holy shit! Oh my god. We're all anticipating him having one of his bigger years stat-wise, and in a contract year, he's going to demand money. Like we just saw with Barkley, right, where the Giants had to franchise tag him, and then things got kind of ugly, and then before he went on to Philly. But like that Saquon contract with Philly, right? I think it was, and someone correct me in chat if I'm wrong, I think it was like 3 years, 36, with whatever guaranteed, right? And that was when Saquon was already Saquon. Like Saquon had already dominated the NFL as a running back and was a top 5 pick, unlike Breece Hall, has not either of those. So I wanted to just get ahead of the game. Just like, I mean, they had to with Sherwood because his contract was up, but they identified someone. You were just talking about it. Yeah, we went over his tape, heard about it in the building, and then gave Sherwood the deal. I want them to kind of get ahead of the game where if they like Breece, you watch a tape on him, maybe, say you're not going to find another better running back, you want to have a 3-headed monster, whatever, and offer him a 3-year 30 or whatever, 3 years 27, whatever it would to get pen to paper to lock in. And I want the same with Garrett. You brought up the numbers. I don't know if it was earlier show with 20, 25, or lock them both in. Like I don't want to get to a point where he has, 1,500, 1,700 scrimmage yards this year and is a threat out of the backfield, and the Jets, whatever, are a shockingly decent offense with Fields running the read option, whatever. I'd rather just them get ahead of the game or Connor Long it. Or if they don't want him and they say, no, we want, Genty, even though I don't agree with it, just make the decision now so he doesn't have a massive year. And then we're stuck in this, between a rock and a hard place where, we're going to franchise him and piss him off, or he's going to want Saquon money after, and we're going to debate next year. He only had one good year. He was injured, this, that, and the other. So I don't know. I do want them to kind of, like I said, get ahead of the game and pick now before it's too late. He's going to be a big part of the offense if he stays healthy, and he's going to have a big year.
100%. I would get out in front of it with at least Sauce and Garrett for sure. Breece is, look, he's coming off a down year. We don't know the style of offense, what it's exactly going to look like. So if they didn't extend him early, fine. You would offer Breece a deal that would basically buy out whatever the franchise tag would be, so he doesn't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like exactly. a two-year extension. But so I don't hate the idea. I would be surprised if they did it though. But I do think they're going to get deals done with Sauce and Garrett after the draft. I do think it's trending positively, at least for that.
I also, I don't know if one of your draft guys or someone in the chat would know. I guess if he had a major year, would we be able to get comp picks back for him? If he is a top 5 running back in the league and wants major money and we don't sign him, would even after a franchise tag, do we still get a comp pick back? Like did the Giants get a 3rd round pick when Saquon walked after the franchise tag? I think that lady just cursed me out as I went through the crosswalk. But
damn.
Yeah, she did. But it was my light. You saw that. You go back. I don't know why. whatever. That happens a lot on Upper West Side. There's a war between cyclists and pedestrians.
West 60th Street, but you're right by Columbus Circle. Here we go.
Exactly. We just passed congestion pricing and didn't pay $9 for it.
There we go.
Shout out to the bicycle.
Wait, Nate, I learned this the other day. I didn't realize this. Did you know Columbus Circle is the only roundabout in New York City?
Makes sense, actually. I can't think of other ones.
Yeah, I was like,
Huh.
I
That's a good
guess
fun
it makes
fact.
sense, but I was surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're not like DC, where that whole city is built in circles, and you could be walking straight. And I get lost so many times. I lived in DC for a summer when I had an internship there, and I just got lost on my bike all the time because they're all diagonal and they're just roundabouts everywhere. And you're trying to go north, and then 2 turns later, you're going south, and you're back where you started from.
Hell yeah!
Unlike New York, which is the perfect like XY axis of with street numbers and avenue numbers, it's really the easiest place to get around, even if you're only your first timer here, so to speak.
Are you going right through Times Square right now?
We're about to be. We're on 55th, so
Yeah,
I mean, it depends what you
giving-
consider Times Square.
You're giving people
yeah.
the full tourist experience right now.
Essentially, I really should get some votes. Like, I love Ricky, but I really want to get some votes for Jake West. That's my guy. Like, Ricky's my guy too. I don't want to take anything away from Ricky, and Ricky's that Florida State guy. But yeah, I'm pushing for Jake West. I mean, I also like text Jake West almost on the daily, and so he's my he's who I'm pulling for the rest of the tournament. And it'd be nice if he had that amazing prank call, and I just feel like that's carrying a lot of steam going into the next round.
It's going to be quite the battle this afternoon. I'm excited for it.
No, it is. Ricky, I mean, Ricky shocked the world, in my opinion. I thought Bobby was not Bobby. Mikey was I just got cursed out in Spanish right there. You guys, this is my daily adventures. I'm about to get cursed out in tourism right here. Bob and weave these people. But he did kind of shock me, and I think shocked a lot of people when he took down Mikey. Mikey was like a McNeese, like a 12 seed that was coming in with a lot of momentum that people thought was going to make a run. And like you said, Ricky, like you said, there's two things. The OGs, like if you're an OG Jets fan, you said it with Matt earlier. Like you have a leg up on this automatically. If you're an OG, you have it. And another thing, like what's your? I don't want to get too personal to your demographics on YouTube, right? But you have a lot of older viewers, Jake, right? It's like this isn't a normal YouTube show filled with like 12 and 14-year-old kids in class. Yo, buddy, bro, mirrors. Like there's a lot of 30s, 40s, 50 plus viewers, a lot of AARP callers. We'll just say it as it is. So there's a lot of people. I heard it when Kyle Clifton called in, like on the day I called, he was like, yo, I love Nate, but Peter's old like me. Like there's nothing you could do about that. If someone's going to vote for age, then so I think Ricky has that going for him, where he's that like OG Jets fan, where that's a big thing. And then also like if you're kind of like a caricature of yourself, people love that shit. And that's what a lot of these callers are. Like if you have like Ricky's got the song now. Ricky's like his, the background, those cigarettes, the Florida States come in like me. Like I'm a fucking bicycle guy. Without a bike, you wouldn't leave me on. You wouldn't probably answer my calls. So it's like everybody who's got a little shtick can keep it going. So I don't know.
Nate, I have looked up my demographics for you. Ready for this? So 18
for
to
it.
20. So 13 to 17 years old. 0.1%.
Connor.
So Connor is in my 0.1%, and Connor's actually on hold right now. So I'll go to him next.
Not sharing the link at school, Connor, huh? Terrible. Shame.
18 to 24, 3.3%.
Yikes.
25 to 34, 21.5%. 35 to 44, 23.9%.
Wow.
45 to 50. This is based off the last 90 days, which is a pretty good sample.
Yep.
45 to 54, 23.4%. And then 55 to 64, 17.5%. So really, if you take a look at the 35 to 64 demo,
almost half your audience.
That's a huge number right there. Yeah. And then
Exactly.
we do have a pretty big. How about this? 65 plus 10.4%. Pretty good.
I think I just lost you. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the last number, but yeah, those are incredible numbers to have. You're like the Benjamin Button of YouTube. Like anyone who's on YouTube is like 2-year-olds to 4-year-olds, 4-year-olds to 8-year-olds, and watching all day long. And like you got the crowd that figured out internet and figured out her grandkids helped them download the YouTube app. You got them on the show. Like anyone who used to be a WFAN or ESPN New York listener who found your show, and you do 4 to 5 hours a day. Like that's like, and you don't do commercials, so you're doing beyond what like Francesca and Kate did. So it's like people who used to have that talk their whole life will immediately pivot to this for 4 or 5 hours of their listening pleasure throughout the day. So credit to you, but yeah, it's super interesting that on YouTube and on the internet we have such an old man demo, so to speak.
I love it. Well, Nate, you'll be at the draft party, so you'll see all areas of the demo that night. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. I'll bring my inhaler for the old day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nate, parentheses Nate. Love it. Good call by Nate. Victor says Nate's like a drunk bike rider. He's all over the road. Nate just makes his own path. He is New York City. All right. Final call. We were talking about the OG Jet fans. How about we end with the total opposite? One of our youngest regular viewers, and based on my YouTube analytics here, he is in the 0.1% of the total audience. Connor Long. Hello, Connor.
Jake, how you doing?
I'm good, Connor. How's it going?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Just wanted to get your thoughts on a few draft questions that crossed your mind. I know Muji went out and he said AVT is going to be playing guard for this team. How would you feel, though, if he decided to change his mind? Let's say Membu's off the board. He swings AVT out to tackle and plugs Will Campbell in at guard. What would your thoughts be then?
I don't love the idea of taking a guard at 7. I'd rather trade back or take a different player. But I think Campbell's going to be really, really good. And you do have Simpson and AVT in the last years of their deal. So, maybe it's Campbell as a guard for a year, and then we move him out to tackle if we think he could handle it. It's not my preference, but there are worse plans than that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, what about Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M? He's someone who the production in college was subpar, 4.5 sacks throughout his entire college career. So you saw his measurables at the combine. Greatest RAS score for defensive lineman in combine history. You're pretty much gambling on pure traits there. Let's say the Jets trade back. They want someone who's versatile, kind of like that JFM mold. Stewart can play inside, can play outside, and do it very, very well. How would you feel if the Jets traded back and pretty much fully gambled on traits there?
I would only consider it in what you already said, a trade back. I don't want a project that high at 7. So you'd have to sell me on getting a bunch of extra picks to still fill other needs if you're going to do something like that.
Let's say the Jets do trade Breece Hall, Jake. Would you be open to Genty at 7?
No.
All right.
I would not.
Yeah, here's the thing. Genty, I would, if they traded Breece, I wouldn't want him at 7, but I would. It's not a move I'd look at and I'd go crazy over. Like, I wouldn't hate it, but it's not something I'm looking for. Right now, my eyes are on the tight ends. I really like Loveland and Warren. Would you be open to Loveland at 7?
Not at 7, but in a trade back, I'm open to him.
Appreciate you taking my call, Jake. Have a great rest of your day.
Where are you right now, Connor? You're just getting steps in?
Yeah, just outside, enjoying the last few days of spring break. Weather's nice. It's a little cloudy here, but it's warm. So just wanted to get outside and get some fresh air.
Would you like to respond to Nate taking shot after shot at you?
Oh, what is he saying? What is he saying? I don't see the chat on my phone.
No. He said it during his call earlier.
Oh, yes.
He referenced one of your Breece takes.
Yes. So for example, this is another scenario with the Breece scenario, like how my words got misconstrued, saying Ron Rivera would be a better head coach for the Jets than Rex Ryan. Never said I wanted to trade Breece. I said at the right price, I would be open to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Long joining us. Connor, what is it like being in the 0.1% of my audience?
It's great. I always thought, the female audience is great, 4.5%. So it's good to know that, Chris, Jack, and I are in even smaller demographics. So super happy to be a part of that.
Connor, great call. It's true. Honestly, if you think about it, there are more women who watch the show than people in Connor's age range, 13 to 17 years old. Honestly, what surprised me when I looked at the demos for this is 18 to 24, only 3.3%. I thought that'd be a way bigger number. But those people I guess they like TikTok and stuff. They don't like long form stuff. And I'm a radio guy, so I talk in long form. And I like being live. J Quest says that I'm effed when we die. Well, hopefully that's not for a while. J-Quest, you might die this afternoon in ASMANIAC Madness, though. Ricky is coming for that ass, baby. We'll find out. I'll look once again at the bracket here. We'll have to update it, obviously, on the left, but the hood region's about to be complete. I'm going to end the show and the poll shortly here. Neal's up big on David T. So half the bracket's set. We got J-Quest and Ricky this afternoon, and we're going to do Lane Train and Kyle on the first show tomorrow morning to allow Craig in Australia to have a better time for him to be able to call in and be a part of it against Gary. So that's the only switch there, and then Bonesy and B-Man on Saturday. So get ready. It's happening. But with that said, let's officially declare a winner in the Sweet 16. David T, Neal, and congratulations are in order to Neal on a great performance, a great win over David T. It wasn't easy. Two great callers, but it's Neal advancing to the regional finals. Final score is 62-37. Almost 500 votes were cast, 491 to be exact. The Chicken Soup region has its two ASMANIACs in the Elite Eight. Neal versus Peter Castro. What a battle. What a time to be alive around here, huh? Fun show. Thanks to everyone who watched. I thought we were going to stop at like an hour and 10 minutes, and everyone started calling in, which is great. You guys are the best. Thank you for that. Please get your draft ticket if you haven't. Want to make sure everyone is locked in for that. So, again, thank you to everyone who watched the show. Looking forward to the one this afternoon. Probably will be live around 4-ish. That's the start time. Could be 3:45. I'm waiting to hear back from a guest potentially, so check the Discord for updates if you must know. But J-Quest and Ricky will be the matchup there. At the buzzer here, Cactus Johnny says, keep Breece, trade Braylon Allen, and Cam Scatterbo in the 3rd and 4th. Breece, Scatterbo, backfield plus Fields would be epic. I don't think you're going to get a lot for Braylon Allen. Just keep Braylon Allen. I think he flashed some pretty good potential. I don't think they're going to take another running back, Cactus Johnny. I could be wrong. It's a really good class. Maybe they love someone, but I'd be a little surprised. Thank you for the ASMANIAC Super Chat, though. All right. Again, congrats to Neal. Thank you all for watching the show. I'm going to end the show with some classic Neal here. Stand by. You ready for this? Let me find the clip I want to go to now, because we have so many good Neal moments to choose from. So it's like, what do you do? Well, I'm going to play a clip, but I'm going to advise everyone out there that if you have children around you, make sure they can't hear it. Full warning. Enjoy the time that Neal and King Loski called in together and lost their damn minds.
As soon as he gets in the red zone, he doesn't have a clue. That's why we're not getting red zone touchdowns. You show the tape every week. This guy's wide open. That guy's wide open. How many times in this game yesterday did we throw the ball into the end zone? Jake, answer the question.
What, 0? I mean, the last play.
That's the answer. You got it
0?
right.
Yeah.
I gave you a test. You passed. 0. Are you kidding me? 0 attempts into the end zone in 3 games.
Neal, I'm worried about your blood pressure.
I don't give a I ate my cigar. I don't even have it. I chewed it and swallowed it.
You need a joint. I'm worried about you in Vegas. Are you going to make it out there?
This is me, okay? This is my Jet game face. King Loski can't even stand up. I'll eat King Loski right on the ding. Let's go, King. Where is he? King! Let's go! Get to Vegas.
See, like Neal, I tried not to call last night. Okay, I tried to keep my composure because I didn't want you to get demonetized last night, Jake. But this is the shit I'm talking about. This fucking child, okay? We are the 3rd year, the 3rd damn year. We are seeing this inept child. I'm fucking dead. Are you kidding me? This is the shit I'm talking about. You bitch his ass. You did his ass on my damn field. You did his ass on my damn field. I'm gotta be kidding me. Sit his ass the fuck down. Now. Get rid of him.
If they don't do it,
he's a child. Every damn year we go through this shit. Every damn year we gotta look at this shit and be like, well, he may make some progression. He may take a step forward. I'm tired of this shit. Every damn team in the damn league sees if your quarterback cannot play in the NFL, they get rid of him. What the fuck is wrong with the damn Jets? I'm a Jets fan. I am not a Zach Wilson truther. If you cannot play football, get your ass off the field.
I want to tell you something. If I'm in Vegas with Loski and we're going to be near each other, if I see Zach Wilson go on that field, me and Loski are going on personally, and we're going to take his ass off the field.
That's a fact. That's a fact.